Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of August, and today I wanted to talk to you about how did we end up with the VW e-up. Just had to check something. It wasn't our first choice. When we started to contemplate getting an electric car, the first car that caught my eye was the then newly unveiled Mazda MX-30. I really like the look of it, especially in the ceramic color. I love the cork interior. It looks really nice. The doors the rear doors that are moving back are especially useful for us with two little children. So all in all, it could be a really good fit. But the more I read up about it and the more reviews I read and tests I read, I started to notice that the charging and the battery size would be an issue. For example, my commute is 140 kilometers a day, and there were multiple early customers that didn't even get over 135 in winter. So that would mean I can make it. I just can't make my commute. So yes, it was a really nice car, and what also helped in making the choice while we initially wanted to get it was because in Germany they have a tax incentive of sorts. It's called BAFA, and people are it's like 9 grand off a car from the government, but after half a year you don't have to pay it back or do anything with it. So a lot of people were selling those MX-30s for like 21,000 euros. So it was really cheap to get, but that dried up really quickly, and those cars were gone, and then the dealers stepped in with long waiting lists and prices exceeding 26,000. So it made less and less sense to get a Mazda MX-30. When we were looking around the same time, the Dacia Spring was unveiled. Initially I liked the look of it, judging from pictures, but then I started to read up on it. No fast charging possibility, no a very small battery, really low on power, just a budget car as you would expect of Dacia, and that's not exactly what we were looking for. So it was a bit too archaic for us, again, range being a problem, because it would be really hard to drive that car 140 kilometers in winter. So then we looked at a Nissan Leaf, but was still pretty expensive if you wanted the young one with the large battery, and it's the CHAdeMO. Wasn't completely sold on it. Other cars we contemplated is me being a huge BMW fan. Of course, the BMW i3S, but it's pretty old tech. In the Netherlands and in Germany, they're pretty expensive. But the looks, I just love the looks of them. You can get them in all these cool color combinations, and they drive really well. It's the carbon car. It's just everything put together. I'm a huge fan of the BMW i3S, and if my commute wasn't so long, we would have gotten one. It was a bit of a stretch, but would have been worth it for me. Mini E, same story. BMW i3S driveline, so not that efficient, only 3 doors, not that good with kids. We also briefly looked at the new electric Fiat 500. Same story, only 3 doors, or 3.5 if you will. And if you spec it up, it gets really expensive really quickly. It's like, if you spec it up, it's in the Netherlands, it's almost a 40 grand car. That just didn't make sense to me, because for around 40 grand you could also get a used Tesla Model 3, and that would be a way more obvious choice. The Honda E, of course, probably the most funky looking electric car on sale at the moment. I love it, but also range being a problem, and it was very expensive for what it is. And because of the fact that that car is in really high demand Europe-wide, there were a lot of long lead times, and it just didn't make sense to wait for a car that was actually way out of our budget, and the range was again a bit of a question mark. So I think the Honda E would have been good enough, but for the price it demands, it's a bit different. Yeah, what else have we looked at? Contemplated getting just a bigger electric car for the family and selling the Alpina. We buy outright, so no lease or something, so we can switch around really easily. But then again, towing the caravan and in summer and having an electric car, I wasn't sure on it, so it just makes sense to get a good small electric car. In the past I worked at a large VW dealership, and around the time I left we started to get in this facelifted Volkswagen e-up. The Volkswagen e-up facelift has the 32 kilowatt hour battery usable, and it came about because Volkswagen had a lot of delays in getting the VW ID3 to market. And because of the delays in ID3, they were facing severe penalties from the EU. So it made sense to just sell all the e-Golfs, which I also contemplated, but not that efficient and way too expensive in the Netherlands because of demand. But because they had to sell as many e-Golfs as they could, they also needed to investigate if there was another possibility to jack up the sales of the other small electric car, the VW e-up, and of course also the Citigo EV and Seat Mii electric here in Europe. So they made the e-up, they gave the e-up the 32 kilowatt hour battery, and suddenly you have this good small car. It's top quality. It's still 10 years on. It's still one of the best on sale, with a very usable battery, and because of the lack of weight, it can go a really long stretch. The only downside to the e-up compared to the e-Golf is that the e-up doesn't get the heat pump, and that would have made it pretty perfect. It's still, of course, a bit of a small car, but in winter I'm not sure if you could get like 180 kilometers out of it. Probably around that, but without the heating on or something. You would have to make sacrifices to get that much range out of it, and you can't drive like 120 kilometers an hour. 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles would be tops, but worth a shot maybe. So that is pretty much how we ended up with, hey, maybe we should just get another up. I had the 60 horsepower petrol and the 75 horsepower petrol and the 90 horsepower petrol one, which I remapped to 140. And it was between the e-up or the GTI, but with the soaring gas prices, it just made sense to get the e-up. So we got it like pretty quickly after we decided we wanted one. This one was actually the first one I saw for sale. We bought it the next day, brought it home, and started to charge on a really old home. Our electric system was really old. It needed an upgrade, and the charger was really slow. It was in March, so it was still very cold at night. So we had to we needed another charger that could charge a bit more quickly. But I've driven now for 18,000 kilometers in it, and I did so with only the granny charger right up until this moment. So it's possible, you can do it. It's not ideal, it takes a long time before the car is full again, but it can be done. I'll make another video about how I charged the car and what we had to do to get the house up to spec, and how we managed to charge it for this long with only a granny charger. I think I'm getting a charge point installed, so that would make things better, and maybe even some solar. So that's about it. That's how we got the E up. Wanted the full options one, of course. So this one has everything like climate control, heated seats, heated windscreen, good audio, nice upholstery. The seats are really cool. This blue shade has it in it. Yeah, and it's been flawless ever since. It's perfect. And the coolest thing is I probably can sell it now for more than I paid for it. So it's always a nice feeling. It's not really into the question because I'm not thinking about getting another car, but you never know. Thank you very much for watching. If you think I've made the right choice, or I missed something, or I should have just gotten another car, please leave a comment and tell me what I should have gotten. Please subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to speak to you very soon again. Bye.